Hey there, Seb by the Realtor here. Did you know it's possible to break the Zillow Zestimate? You can actually sell your property for so much money that Zillow can't figure out what your home is worth anymore. If you want to find out how you can get a sale price that high, you definitely want to watch this video. So the other day I closed escrow on a little home in San Jose. It was a tract home. It was very similar to other homes in the neighborhood, except that it was maybe a little smaller than average, and it was on a little busier of a street. Not like a really busy street, but a street that, at rush hour or at school pickup and drop off, because there was a school around the corner, it could get, a little busier. It didn't have much in the way of upgrades. It did have a nice set of solar panels that were, 10, 12 years old, something like that. But it had not been remodeled recently. It was remodeled maybe in the late 1990s. So it had dual pane windows from the 90s. It had a kitchen from the late 1990s. And it had been cleaned and painted, and there was new carpet installed over the hardwood floors. But it was functionally obsolete. Like, the bedrooms were really small, the bathrooms were really small and old, and it didn't have that open floor plan that so many people favor today. And the backyard, it was basically devoid of all landscaping. There was like a really old, broken, uneven concrete patio back there. There was a utility pole in the backyard in one corner of it, and along the backyard fence there was like a web of utility wires running back there. But it had been, relatively well kept up. The furnace was newer, and it was a decent home, but an unspectacular home. And after it got sold, Zillow all of a sudden told me that it couldn't calculate any more how much the Zestimate was, that it must be missing some information. But funny thing was, before we sold it, Zillow could tell me just fine how much that home was worth. Now, this is what it looks like when Zillow says that they can't figure out how much the home is worth. Maybe you have seen that before, and I have seen that before quite a few times actually, but that is typically for homes which are really, really outside the box. They are homes which are like, a small house on a huge parcel, or like a huge house on like a tiny parcel, or like two houses on a parcel, or like a house that also has like a, like a large, shop or garage, or just something that's really out of the box, that's throwing off the value, that honestly it would be hard for, anybody like an appraiser or like an experienced realtor to really accurately tell you what the fair market value of that property is. So I have seen that before. But the funny thing is that this is exactly the kind of house that Zillow is supposed to be really, really good at telling you how much it's worth, when it's in a neighborhood of very similar homes that were built around the same time, around the same square footage, around the same lot size, actually, as it happens, by the very same builder. So how come all of a sudden Zillow can't tell you anymore how much that home is worth? And I will tell you why. That's because the sale price was so high. The sale price was totally out of whack with the other comparable sales of similar homes which had closed recently in that very same neighborhood, and Zillow just couldn't figure it out. So sometimes Zillow will say that when like the house has been like really, really upgraded, right? Or really, really degraded, right? When there really is something exceptional about a tract home even, and Zillow just can't figure it out. But in this case, there was none of that. It was as plain vanilla and ordinary a home in San Jose as you can possibly get. So what was the difference? Why was it that Zillow couldn't figure out how much that home is worth now? And the simple reason is, I think, because the sale price was just so darn high. Zillow is going like, what is going on here? Like, what don't I know? What Zillow doesn't know is that I was the listing agent. Not to take too much credit for it. Okay, listen, it was during the holidays. There was very, very little for sale at the time. We were really pretty much the only game in town. We had that going for us. But again, it was the holidays. A lot of sellers are worried about putting their homes up for sale over the holidays because they think it's going to be hard to sell over the holidays. But we put it up for sale on the market smack dab between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And you know what? We had it open only 2 days. There were only 2 days when buyers could come through and see that property. There were no private showings whatsoever. Everyone who saw that home saw it only in those 2 open houses on Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 both days. And from that pool of buyers, I was able to get buyers who made insane offers. And of course, The thing is, when you sell a home, you really just need that one buyer who's going to pay more than any other buyer. And that is what I do. I will find that one buyer, make sure that that one buyer is going to write an offer that is absolutely incredible, knock your socks off. And that is what we got. We got an offer that was just so great that it broke Zillow. Zillow can't figure out how I did it. But if you want to know how I did it, I'm very happy to sit down, talk with you, see your house, give you some ideas about what we can do to make sure that when you sell your house, you get a sale price that is so high that it literally breaks Zillow. They won't be able to figure out how you did it, but I'm going to be your secret weapon there. All right, well, listen, if you want to get hold of me, my phone number is here at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead and shoot me a text message or call me anytime you want to. Love to chat with you, find out what your situation is, and how I can help you make your next move the best one yet. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm guessing that you might also enjoy some of these videos over here. These are some of the most popular videos here on my YouTube channel, so please do check those out. All right, that's all I have for this one. Thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned.